A long time ago, I raised a son to know his Quentin from his Coppola.
Now we're turning our arguments into content. This is I Am Your Father, where Gen X meets Gen Z in hyperspace.
Hello.
Hello.
How's everything in Vegas?
Things are great, Father.
Yeah. In case you're tuning in for the very first time, I'm Graham. I am the father.
And I am Braden, the son, obviously.
You know what I recently found? I'm going to hold this up in front of the camera.
Aww.
Look at this little guy. Look at this little guy. Aww. Look at that. That's little us. Anyway,
I was an adorable kid.
You were an adorable kid. You're an adorable kid. Now when you argue with me, it's kind of a pain, but otherwise it's good. We have a great show planned. We are going to dive a little into Mr. Quentin Tarantino. He's been doing a lot of interviews recently, talking a lot of trash. Also, just talking about his future and the future of movies, the state of movies, and so we're gonna get into a little of that. We're gonna rank his films as well. He's a particular favorite of ours, and then we'll talk a little about what's coming next from him.
Yeah.
And but before that, we've also got a 10 and 20.
Yes.
You want to set that up?
I will. Our 10 and 20 is a segment where we are going to break down 10 topics in under 20 minutes. Hopefully, we're really good at it. And we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today, so I'm excited to dive right in. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, let's do it. Timer has begun.
Boom.
The hunt for Gollum will include Gandalf and Frodo. Good news, I suppose, but I also want to ask you, do we need this movie?
I want
what are
this
your
movie.
Thoughts? Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel a little like Peter Jackson has, a crazy love affair with Gollum, and he just wants to keep going back to this Gollum well. I'm pretty sure that if we let him, it would be like Gollum in love, Gollum in space, Gollum. Like he's just going to keep giving us Gollum until the orcs come home.
And you're one of the very few people who underappreciates Gollum and that performance from Andy Serkis. So I'm excited to get to see him back, and I'm excited to see.
I appreciate him to the right level.
Oh, okay, no, but I'm happy to see Ian McKellen back as well.
Here's a hot take. I'll take Andy Serkis as Caesar over Andy Serkis as Gollum.
Yes, I would too, actually.
Any day.
Yes, I would too, to be fair. But it's different because Caesar is a main character and has a lot more depth to work with, right? And Gollum,
he should be a main character.
Yeah.
Right? But that's my point, is I feel like Peter Jackson has tried to make Gollum the main story of Tolkien's work, and it doesn't work for me. It's
the hunt for Gollum. That doesn't necessarily mean that Gollum is the main character. It's a hunt for Gollum.
I'm saying historically, and I'm a little worried that's what's going to happen again. But I am obviously, I love Ian McKellen. I'm glad to have him back. I think it'll be really cool to see Frodo back as well.
Yeah,
but
because Elijah Wood still looks the same age.
Yeah, because he's not aging at all. He's on the Ant-Man diet.
Yep,
and he's not going anywhere. Paul Rudd is giving him some stem cells, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I'll say this.
But yeah,
I'll say this. When it comes to Lord of the Rings and the whole, extended universe, I don't really care about much more than the story of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. I have really found zero interest in the Rings of Power. I just don't find it very intriguing. What I love is the movies that Peter Jackson created and that story that he told.
Yeah.
So for me, revisiting that era with those characters is what's exciting to me. I don't care about many other time periods in Middle Earth. I don't care about what the elves were up to in, year 10 or anything like that.
You haven't gotten into the fields as trodden by the Rohirrim?
Right, exactly. I'm in it for the Gandalf and the Frodo and the Aragorn and so forth.
The Gandalf.
So
yeah, that's Matt Reeves' next film.
The Gandalf. I'm here for it. I'm with it.
I'm here for it.
All right. I think we should probably move on.
Let's do it.
Topic number 2. The Duffer Brothers have signed with Paramount and are saying goodbye to Netflix. And this is ahead of Stranger Things Season 5 releasing altogether. So do you think this is kind of interesting that we are finding this out this soon before when they still have a project on the horizon?
I do, I think, but I don't think it's because it's what they wanted. I think it's because what Larry Ellison wanted. I think that it's the way that now that they've completed the acquisition, that Skydance has acquired Paramount, and I think that they want a big splash, and the Duffer Brothers are a big splash. It's a coup to steal them away from Netflix.
Yeah.
And it says to the stock market, it says to everybody paying attention that Paramount's going to be a big player. And I think they're also hedging their bets because there's a lot of talk that it might be hard to retain Taylor Sheridan, for example, and so. Who's going to be their backup if they don't have a steady stream of, shoot 'em up modern westerns coming from him?
Yeah.
So I think they wanted this announced probably more than the Duffer Brothers care. This is a distraction from a potential successful end to Stranger Things that I'm sure they want.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely a hot commodity right now. I think it's interesting, but I don't know. We don't really know what they're working on next, so I'm not sure how crucial it'll end up being. We'll just have to see what they're working on.
Well, the reports say they really want to focus on feature films.
Okay.
Right? That's a big thing. And so Paramount gives them that opportunity to be in the feature world versus just where, obviously Netflix does films, but Netflix doesn't release films or distribute films the same way that Paramount does. So I think it gives them an opportunity to do that. I'm really curious, though, to see if they have something in their toolkit that expands upon what they did with Stranger Things, as opposed to, unfortunately, what we've seen from the Russo brothers, where it's been pretty hit or miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Number 3, we've got some new imagery from HBO on the Weasleys. Spoiler alert, it's a lot of red hair.
A lot of red hair.
Yeah. What are you thinking so far as our resident Harry Potter nerd?
Yeah. I don't have a single issue. I think it honestly looks perfect.
Yeah.
I think they actually all look like they could be related, especially the twins and Percy.
Yeah.
It's kind of uncanny. And so I have zero complaints from my side, and I am just hoping and truly believing that we will finally get a Ginny from the books rather than, unfortunately, what ended up being very stale and wooden version of Ginny from the movies.
Yeah, a lot of Ginny on the cutting room floor.
Yep, exactly. So
Yeah.
overall, I saw this image. It just made me smile. It again is giving me further confidence that we've got good stuff in store.
Yeah, I mean they look happy. They're great looking. They look just like Weasleys. Nothing to worry about here, right? I think HBO is really going to give us something that we can all really enjoy, and if we can let go of the original films, which were all great, I think let's not nitpick the originals. I mean, there's a few issues, but
they're great.
They're great films. I enjoy them. They're super rewatchable. But this really feels like we're going to get a really interesting reboot out of HBO, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, as every bit of information or set photos or anything like that comes out, I'm getting more and more optimistic, and so I'm excited. I love Harry Potter. Yeah. I'm excited to see potentially even more faithful adaptation to the books than what we got.
Yeah. All right.
You want to take us into number 4?
Yeah. So Department Q has been renewed for a second season on Netflix. You have not watched this show, right? So this is where, I mean, ideally you would have done the intro to set me up to talk about the show, right? Let's try to should we rewind?
We can, but I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Let's do All right. We'll try it again. All right,
here we go. I got this.
Let's try it
Ready?
again. Take 2.
Topic number 4. We have Department Q renewed for a second season on Netflix. What the hell is this?
I mean, I'm telling you, man, this is a great show that you should be watching, and thank you for the introduction. Department Q, I just finished it, watched it with your sister. It is a really great, gritty Scottish crime drama. It takes place in Scotland.
Yes.
Matthew Good, who I know you know from a number of things, but particularly the Zack Snyder Watchmen film, and a number of other really great actors who show up. It's a really good whodunit. It has a bit of an X-Files kind of feel, where it's sort of it's not the monster of the week, but it's definitely feels a little like that, with this larger overall conspiracy. But you've got the let's call it the disgraced police officer, super great investigator, but he's been a little disgraced. He's relegated to the basement, Department Q, where he's got to take on some cold cases and solve those cold cases. It's good. It's gritty. I really liked it a lot. I think it's one of the best things that come out of Netflix in a really long time. I recommend it. You should check it out. If those of you viewing or listening to the podcast, if you haven't watched Department Q, check it out. But I'm excited that a season 2 has been renewed, and I'm looking forward to revisiting.
Yeah, I mean, you just sold me. You said all the right things, so
good.
I might start it this week. I still have to finish The Bear, but I might start it this week.
Yeah, I've noticed your bear watching has been continuing, been perpetuating.
Yes.
I don't think Department Q will disappoint you. I think you're going to enjoy it.
No, I love mysteries and and Scotland, so I think I'm going to like it.
All right, our next topic. Survivor 49 cast has been released, and we've got a Marvel executive as one of the cast members. Nate Moore, who was a producer on many Marvel films, including Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the television show, Civil War, countless others. Very successful producer, but he recently left Marvel, and apparently it was to start hanging out with Jeff Probst. Are you a Survivor fan?
I am a Survivor fan. I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of the newer seasons. I kind of, post-COVID, it lost me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But I'm definitely looking forward to season 50, and so now I think I might be looking forward to season 49 as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're saying they're going to take 2 or 3 season 49 cast members and pull them into 50, because 50 is
right.
Sort of an all-star season, a big all-star season. So I would recommend it. I think 47 and 48 were both solid.
When is 49 coming out?
September. We've got about a month, a little less than a month, maybe 3 weeks.
Sounds good.
So we're gearing up for 49. In terms of reality TV, or would you even classify this as reality? Would it be more like competition television? I don't know where you put that, but how much of that do you generally consume outside of Survivor?
Not much at all. My wife and I watch Love is Blind. That's pretty much it. So
would you call that competition?
I would call it reality. Yeah.
There's a new one from the producers of Love is Blind. Have you seen that one?
No, what is that one?
It is Love is Blind, except everyone's a virgin. This is not a joke. This sounds like a
is
joke.
This for real?
This is for real. They just released trailers for it on Netflix. The producers of Love and Blind. It's called Will You Be My First?
You gotta love a good social experiment.
Yeah. So, but anyway, let's get back to Survivor. I also don't watch. I mean, it's that, or occasionally a little bit of The Amazing Race.
Yeah.
I will admit that I was forced to watch Love is Blind, and the other one that I kind of accidentally got pulled into was Singles Inferno. I don't know if you've seen this or not.
Not even heard of it.
Classic reality comedy. It's Korean reality, really good, but mostly for the laughs.
But anyway, we got to check out season 49 of Survivor
with Nate Moore, our Marvel executive.
Yes,
yeah, we got a little off topic there.
Sounds good.
Okay, why don't you take us into the next one?
Yeah, I will. I'm a little concerned. The Batman Part 2, it's being reported, will not have Greg Fraser returning as the cinematographer. Wow. And Zoe Kravitz is also apparently saying that she won't be returning. This is pretty surprising to me. I mean, the cinematography of the Batman is phenomenal. It's top tier, and it's part of what makes that movie so good. Can it not be done by anybody else? Of course it can. Matt Reeves will find the guy to do the job. And it's not even fully confirmed that Greg Fraser is not returning. It's just speculated because he will be working on the Beatles movies. But the Zoe Kravitz thing, I find
4 films.
Yeah, Zoe Kravitz not returning. If this is true, I'd find that rather disappointing.
Well, so Greg Fraser is, I think, one of the best cinematographers we have working right now. I mean, between both Dune films, the Batman, but he's also done a bunch of other really great things, including Rogue One. He did Rogue One as well. So I think he's a great cinematographer. I'm surprised that it's because of the Beatles films. I've kind of been expecting to find out that Greg Fraser was going to be doing his own film. He like moving into directing. Maybe it's kind of been my prediction, but that doesn't seem to be where we're at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bummer because the way the Batman looked was phenomenal. It was shot beautifully. Yeah, it was so good. I'm a little okay with Zoe Kravitz not coming back. I think these can be kind of episodic. I think it'd be okay. You know what I'd really like to see? Let's go on to the Batman 2. Batman 3, she's back kind of thing. You know, like we don't have to, it doesn't have to be the exact characters throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you know what? I agree with you. I'm going to trust Matt Reeves and see where we land.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think there's not much that I could hear about this movie that would make me give up all hope. I think I could hear some crazy things, be a little nervous, but at the end of the day, I'm going to trust him until he does me wrong, and he has not.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see. So good luck to Greg Fraser, and hopefully those Beatles movies look are as good as all these other films that he's been shooting recently.
They're going to look amazing. I know they will.
I know for sure. Cruella 2 is officially in the works, some pre-production news, but I feel like the information is a little scattered. But personally, I'm on board for another installment of Emma Stone as Cruella. What are you hearing about this topic?
Yeah, like you said, not much, just kind of what you just said, and I agree. It is a little scarce, the information on this. We found it today, so maybe we're wrong, but I don't think so. It's being reported in a few different areas. I like Cruella. I like that movie. I have nitpicks with it, but overall, I thought it was one of the better Disney reimaginings. I think that's kind of when the live action Disney remakes work best, is when they're more so reimagining. They work best that way,
yeah. Maleficent, Cruella, these work. The shot-for-shot remakes don't work.
They don't.
Yeah.
And so I'm here for Cruella 2.
Yeah, me too. I'm here for Cruella 2. But hopefully we get some more information soon, and we can talk a little bit more intelligently about it.
Yeah. Hopefully. I'll take us into our next topic.
Yeah, let's do it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Will Deadpool appear in Doomsday? I'm hearing yes. I'm hearing no. I'm hearing yes, but not as an Avenger. I'm hearing these are all just rumors. It's very strange. We didn't get that cast chair, but just on a random day, it's being reported Ryan Reynolds will return as Deadpool in Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, and I think all this sort of started because of a post that Ryan Reynolds made.
Right.
And there was a lot of speculation about what that post meant. But you're right. I mean, I don't remember the exact publications, but some pretty reputable publications are contradicting each other and saying different things. Some are saying, yes, Deadpool is for sure going to be in Doomsday, and others are saying, absolutely, he's not going to be. We've heard on good authority that he's not going to be part of it. So I think, unfortunately, it's still up in the air. I'm kind of okay with not knowing. Like,
me too.
I'm
100%.
They showed us 350 actors that are going to be in Doomsday. It's going to be hard for them to surprise us at this point. So I kind of wish maybe they hadn't.
Well, because at this point, we're going to be expecting everybody. Honestly. And here's the thing, too. Here's the truth is these Marvel movies got to start making some substantial money again. And so they're going to pull out the greatest hits. They're going to pull out what's worked well recently and what's worked well in the past. And Deadpool and Wolverine just made a crap ton of money. It's the only Marvel movie recently that's made, the regular Marvel money. So, of course, it's not at all surprising that he is most likely going to be in this movie, as well as most likely Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we'll see. Right now, I think they're going to keep teasing us in classic Deadpool kind of way. It's going to be, it's going to be a lot of cheeky posts and a little of this, a little of that. But hopefully hopefully they don't spoil it. I'd like to not know maybe until we get there. Some of these people anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Braden, a couple years ago, did you see a little film called Sisu?
You mean the one with the badass old man just killing people left and right,
I
getting
do.
shot at,
I do.
stabbed,
I
hung,
do.
and surviving all of it?
A little Tarantino-inspired Sisu.
Yeah,
We
it
got
was almost like
Sisu
John
Road-
Wick meets Tarantino.
Tarantino, exactly. We've got Sisu Road to Revenge that has just been announced and is going to be releasing in November. We don't have to wait that long.
Not very long at all. I guess they've been
No.
working on this for a while.
Yeah, no trailer, though. We literally just got a title and one image for this.
That looks like it could have been pulled out of the first movie.
It does. It does a little. He's taken on the Russians instead of the Nazis this time. He's branching out, expanding his palette, if you would.
Yes, it's growth.
But you and I both had Sisu ranked pretty high for that year.
Yeah.
And definitely our surprise hit of or our surprise favorite of that year. So I assume you're like me. You're down for Sisu Part 2 or Sisu Road to Revenge.
Of course I am. I'm down for Sisu sequels like I'm down for John Wick sequels. I'll just keep watching.
Sisu.
Sisu.
Do we know? It's not the character's name, right? It's like a word that means like something. I'm trying to. I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think it's almost equivalent to like the Baba Yaga.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Well, I'm down and I'm excited for it. So it was cool to see that pop up today.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to admit something.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to watch the most recent episode of Alien Earth. I was way too busy. Have you watched it?
I did. I watched it last night.
Okay.
It was solid. There's no doubt. I gotta say, I don't think it captured my imagination and attention the same way that episodes 1 or 2 did.
Okay.
But I'm still for it. I'm still in for it. It wasn't a bad episode. It just I feel like maybe not enough happened. It felt like they needed to reset a little bit and kind of now like establish some of what's gonna be coming up. So we'll see. There was definitely some cool stuff, and we saw. I don't want to spoil it. I'm not going to tell you anything since you haven't seen it. But there was some acid. There was some acid blood.
Okay.
Tossed around,
Right.
maybe a lot of it, and otherwise we got to know a few of the characters a little bit more. And there's some really fun performances by the actors portraying the Lost Boys. And it's really interesting to see the difference in terms of, I guess I would say, like mental and emotional development between where Wendy's at and where some of the others who have not been around as long. They're still, I guess, I don't know, maturing in some way. It was good. It just wasn't quite as fast paced as either the first two. So, but nothing to worry about.
All right.
I'm quite confident they're going to keep it up.
Well, of course, I'm still going to watch it. So
Yeah.
I will
You
get
need
on
to.
that ASAP.
You need to watch it. I'm looking forward to hearing your review of episode 3 of Alien Earth.
Okay. Yeah. I will let you know as soon as I watch it. We'll talk about it next week for sure.
All right. Well, that was our 10 and 20.
Yeah.
Not
10 and
not
20.
too bad. We got through it. We got through it in roughly 20 minutes. Yeah. Should we jump into our main topic for this episode?
We definitely should. Remind them what it is.
We're going to be discussing Quentin Tarantino, the films of and the opinions of. Mr. Tarantino's been doing a lot of interviews recently, despite the fact that he doesn't actually have a film coming out right now. And he's been giving us his opinions on the state of cinema, on his own career, on directors that he loves, and what's going on in the future. So we're going to kick around a couple of those topics, and then we're going to do a little bit of ranking on our personal preferences and thoughts on Tarantino's 9 filmography. We are going to skip the half films or the installments that he directed, as well as those that he just wrote. So no Natural Born Killers, no True Romance, no Four Rooms, and no Death Machine. Is that what it's
Death
called?
Trap?
Death Trap. Thank you. I screwed that up.
No, not Death Trap. That's
we're
not
gonna
even right. Is it?
No, I can't remember. Anyway, we're going to focus on the 9 full-length features of Quentin Tarantino's career and rank those accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you kind of break down what he's been saying recently? Because I haven't heard too much about this, but it seems you have.
Yeah, so he's been doing a lot of interviews, and he was recently quoted as saying that we are currently in the worst period in movie history in terms of quality of film. He's clearly not a fan of superhero films. He's clearly not a fan of IP dominating, which is interesting because we know that he does love IP. He is a comic hero fan, or a comic book fan rather. He is a superhero fan. These topics pop up from time to time in his different scripts in terms of things that his characters are interested in or have knowledge about.
Right.
But it's clear that he feels that we are being overserved in this area, and that not enough attention is being paid to original scripts, original stories, original characters. What do you think? You think there's a chance that this is the worst time in film history?
I mean, no. There is still a lot of great stuff coming out, and there is plenty of original content being released. If I had to agree with him on a point, I would say maybe the atmosphere and landscape of movie viewership and who's going to see movies. Maybe in that sense, it is the worst. I think people are only leaving the house for, the Marvel movies and the DC movies and the Jurassic movies and so forth. But I think for the people who care...
Disney movies, right?
Yeah. I think for the people who care, there's a lot of great original content coming out still to this day. So I definitely don't think it's the worst time ever. There's still a lot of great quality content, even some of which is related to Marvel, DC, Disney, and so forth. So I would say I'd have to disagree, but I haven't been alive as long as he has.
No, that's true. Okay, but think about this from the perspective that when I was growing up, and and in my teenage years and in my early 20s and mid 20s, like there was an entire decade of great, amazing films that Tarantino was part of, that had smaller budgets. That didn't have to be a $200 million movie, that had to gross $1 billion in order to really be considered successful. And I think that that's an era that, for the most part, it's just not happening. Those films that we get that are in that range, that sort of, let's say, $15 to $50 million range of budget, they almost don't exist, right? So. And a lot of great quality in art came from that time period. And right now we are so reliant, the studio system is so reliant on IP that if it's not a $1 billion movie, it's seen as a failure. Like, look what's happening right now. Like, the news right now is that Superman is not going to hit 600 million or something like it's gonna fall short, or it's gonna stay around 600 million. It's gonna fall short of Man of Steel, and Man of Steel wasn't necessarily considered to be like a huge hit, right?
Right.
So where we're at right now is very different, and it's being reported that is a failure on the part of Superman, the film, James Gunn, etc. That's where we're at right now in terms of film. There's the little movies like Sisu are really few and far between.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's a way that these studios could tackle this problem. And I think it would just kind of be almost like a rubric of how they could move forward. I mean, they could have their 2-3 big movies a year and then fund, 3, 4, 5 smaller movies that same year. I don't think this is a very ridiculous concept to say we're going to have our DC movie, we're going to have our Star Wars movie, and so forth. And also we're gonna make 10 really, really low budget but potentially amazing story-driven films.
Well, I agree with you, except that they're just not doing it.
Right. And that's because people aren't showing up.
Okay. And so
I actually think this kind of goes deeper. I think there's another reason as to why people aren't going.
Okay.
I think part of the reason is unless you are really paying attention and figuring out how to do so, you can't go to the movies with your spouse or your partner or a friend and get out of there for less than $40. And that's assuming you don't want more than just a small popcorn. It's gotten very expensive to go see a movie. Okay.
I see what you mean.
And I think that's part of it. I think that's part of the reason why theater attendance is lower than it has been. in the past. I mean, part of that's coming off of COVID, but it kind of was revitalized a little bit, but still, I don't think it'll ever really reach the same heights, and a lot of that is because it's just so expensive. I mean, a family of 3 or 4 or 5, you're dropping $70, $80, $90 to go see one movie, and it can kind of just get ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean,
why go see a movie when it's going to be on streaming in 2 months?
And going to the movies requires a similar investment that the studios are having to make to get the thing done. Like
Right.
relative to your own personal budget. I get it.
Right.
It's a problem. So I guess this kind of leans into the idea that I don't know that I disagree with him. I think he might be right. It doesn't mean that we're not getting any good movies, but I think it's tough right now. So
Yeah.
he did identify a filmmaker that he thinks is killing it. He identified 2 filmmakers that he thinks is killing it. One of them was him.
Yes. he is pretty proud of himself, which is fine. He's allowed to be.
Well, there are very few filmmakers right now who, when they release a movie, it is in and of itself just an event, right? I'm going to say 3, really. Unfortunately, I think even Spielberg has fallen off of this list.
Yeah,
it used to be
I don't think
that
he's there
Spielberg
anymore.
was on that list. But to me, right now, it's 3 filmmakers and arguably 2. So I think his list is wrong. But so he identified himself and David Fincher. Love David Fincher. But Fincher's been doing a little bit more direct to streaming stuff with Netflix with this deal. We haven't had a true like cinematic release from Fincher in a while. I think so. To me, I think the other one is Nolan, right? But to me, those are the 3. Those are the 3 best filmmakers working. I'm going to throw in maybe Wes Anderson coming off.
What about
Denis? Tour. Yeah, but I don't know that he's hit that level just yet. I think he's a movie or 2 away. But I think you're right. He's a great filmmaker.
I mean, if he's not there, Dune 3 is going to put him up there for sure.
That's fair. So you're saying that if he puts out a film, if Denis puts out a film, to you it's every bit as much of an event as a new Christopher Nolan film?
No, to me it's not. But I'm saying he's up there in that, at least the top 5. In fact, I would argue, at least with people more my age, that he would probably trump Tarantino in this area.
Tarantino, yeah. I was going to ask you that question next. Fair enough. So Tarantino says the 2 best filmmakers working are Tarantino and Fincher. And as luck would have it, they're partnering.
They are.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? We've touched it in a little bit, but now that we've had a little bit more time to let this radiate, what are your thoughts on the continuing adventures of what's his name? What's it?
Cliff Booth, I think.
Cliff Booth, yeah. The continuing adventures of Cliff Booth, directed by David Fincher. What are your thoughts here?
Anything directed by David Fincher, I'm excited about. And I just rewatched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a couple weeks ago. Really love it. Love Brad Pitt in general. I love
He's
Brad
very
Pitt
good in that part.
with David Fincher's direction. And I think Cliff Booth was a very fun and interesting character. So this is a recipe for success in my book. I'm excited for this team up that's happening.
I'm excited too. I mean, Pitt kind of sharpened his teeth on David Fincher, and then he's moved into Tarantino, and now it's coming full circle, and we're going to see the 2 of them together. Fincher's best work is stuff that's created by really great visionary writers. He's one of those. He's one of the few auteurs that we have who's not writing his own stuff, and so he's bringing other people's visions to life in a way that no one else could. So I am excited about this. It's also been a really long time since we've seen anybody else direct a Quentin Tarantino movie, though.
Right.
So that'll be really interesting to see how that comes to play.
It will be very interesting. Speaking of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's a little bit of an interesting segue, but apparently Tarantino has fully scrapped his announced upcoming and final film called The Movie Critic. And I'm seeing that one of the reasons that he is giving for this is that he knows how to do, he's proven already that he knows how to do old time Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And he realized as he's working on this movie that it was just going to be way too similar to this, to his previous movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So I think he didn't want to end on something so similar to the one right before, and I think that this is probably a good call.
I got to say that from the time I heard the very first announcement about this film, it didn't work for me. I didn't get it. I was like, wait, what is he doing? He's doing a movie. And I think he's even called out recently, even the name of the film just doesn't seem like a Quentin Tarantino movie. And I have to agree. I was super confused about what I was hearing and reading about the movie critic. So I'm kind of glad that he's chosen to scrap it. And everything that he's said, I agree. It seems like he's realized that what some of us also were concerned about. So I'm glad he's not moving forward. Is there a genre that you would want to see Quentin Tarantino take on for his 10th and final film? And we'll circle back to that word final. But we've seen Tarantino. He's done noir. He's done westerns. He's done World War II. He's done kung fu.
Yeah.
He's done so many different types of films. He's done western a few times, I guess. Right. Where would you like to see him go that we haven't seen yet?
It's interesting because it's kind of tricky because, like you said, it is the notorious 10th and final film, right? So it's like, do we really want him to experiment a whole lot? Do we want him to kind of give us the greatest hits? I think two things would be very interesting to me. I think, and they'd be very different from anything he's done before, and I think that's kind of why they'd be interesting. Yeah, I think one direction he could go is he could kind of put his money where his mouth is, and direct a comic movie.
Interesting.
I think that could be. I think he could kind of say, "Hey, watch this. This is how it's supposed to be. This is how you make a good comic book movie with real heart and real art behind it." I don't think he'll do that.
Allegedly, back in the 90s, he wrote a Silver Surfer script and was looking to make that his third or fourth film, somewhere in there. And it was rejected at the time by Sony, I think. So, or whoever had the rights to it at the time. So he definitely, supposedly he was interested in that.
That is bizarre that you say that, because either I heard that a long time ago and stored it somewhere deep in my brain, but I don't think so. As I was saying that I think you should direct a comic book movie, I was thinking along the lines of Silver Surfer and these cosmic characters. I thought that was where my mind went for a potential Tarantino comic book movie.
You've seen Crimson Tide?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know that monologue about Silver Surfer between Denzel Washington and I forget the other actor, where there's this brief moment where they have this conversation about Silver Surfer?
Yeah, I vaguely remember it.
So that's a Tarantino monologue. He was hired to do punch-ups on that script,
really,
for Tony Scott and for Crimson Tide, and he came in and that's one of the scenes that he rewrote to help them get that script to where they wanted to do. So where they wanted it to be. It's this fun little Silver Surfer conversation. Well, okay, so maybe so you're voting for some kind of superhero. I was thinking science fiction.
So that was going to be my second option. That was the other thing I was going to say.
Yeah. So I think a really interesting, gritty space movie would be a cool thing to see what Tarantino could do with it.
Absolutely.
So I'd kind of like to see him do that rather than
more.
Than him doing a superhero movie.
Yes, that would be my vote. But I'm just saying I think it would be very interesting given how much crap he talks about the comic book genre currently. I think it would be funny to see him just drop the best one. Yeah.
I hope he goes that direction instead of just kind of playing the greatest hits. Let me ask you another question. Do you buy this 10th and final film narrative that he's been putting out there for several years now, by the way? It's been a solid 5 or 6 years since he said he's calling it quits after 10.
For as long as I've been watching Tarantino films, that's been what he said. And so I kind of do buy it. I think he is one of those guys who really respects the art and around everything that he's making. And he's very passionate, clearly. I think he's the kind of guy who's going to say something like this and actually do it and recognize that it lessens what he did if he's been saying this all along and then doesn't actually do that. You know, I think he's said it and now he has to do it. I think he's the kind of guy who's got to stand on that business that he started, you know?
But what does that mean? Like, is he the kind of guy who can sit still? He's got to go into something else. Writing
could probably
novels
write.
or
Yeah.
directing plays or something. Like, he's got to do something else. We can't just lose Tarantino as an artist.
Right.
Like, we need more Tarantino out there. I think.
I'm really not sure. I agree. It would be sad, but I mean, all the best things have to come to an end eventually, you know? To quote a comic book movie, part of the journey is the end. I think it's got to end, and that's part of what makes it so special.
All right.
I mean, what did Seinfeld say? He said you gotta leave before they can kick you out, you know? Do we want to unfortunately come to a time where we say Tarantino fell off?
Yeah.
Or do we want
what he used to be?
Do we want to say, man, he made 10 really great films?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Death Proof, by the way.
Yeah, I looked it up.
Yeah, I don't know why we couldn't come up with that.
I've never seen it.
I know I have old man brain, but I don't know what your problem is. Okay, so we're going to get into ranking some films, ranking Tarantino's filmography. We're going to go 1 through 9, but I think first it makes sense for us to talk about what he's recently said as far as his own personal rankings. He didn't get into all 9, but he did give us a third of it, right?
Yeah, and I disagree
not necessarily
with him.
In terms of... You disagree with him?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so he listed 3 films, or rather 4, kind of technically. Kill Bill, which I assume he meant the combination of the two together.
The whole
he identified, he identified as a film that only he could have made.
Yeah,
and that's what makes it special. He identified Inglorious Bastards as his masterpiece, and he identified Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as his favorite film that he's ever made. So those are the 3 that he identified.
Yeah.
Without getting into your rankings just yet, how do you disagree, and what do you feel about the way he kind of organized his ranking?
Well, I suppose he didn't necessarily say that Kill Bill was one of his better movies, so I guess I can't necessarily disagree with his statement that only he could make that movie or those movies. I actually would agree with him on Inglorious Bastards, saying it is clearly one of his more masterful movies. I would just disagree with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood being the favorite. It can be his favorite, obviously. I can't say he's wrong for being his favorite, but it's just definitely not my favorite. I think it's a really good movie.
It's not.
I like
your
it a lot. No, you're wrong. It's not your favorite, man. Come on, let's be real.
Okay. Well, should we talk about our favorites and what we think of this?
I think we should start with our least favorites.
Should we go backwards?
I think we should go backwards
because we're aligned. Do we think? Yes.
Maybe at the bottom.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that your favorite is not my favorite, though.
Yeah, we've had this conversation, and I got to say too, for me, 2 through 6 maybe was really difficult to figure out.
For me, it's 2 through 5.
With Tarantino, not unlike how I feel about Fincher, my rankings are very fluid. 6 months from now, I feel like this list could look very different, and that's because I don't think he's made a bad movie, and that's kind of goes into what you were saying about going out on top with 10. I don't think that there's one bad film in this 9. I just think that there's those that I connect with more than others, and that I like more than others for different reasons. But to get that started, my number 9 is Jackie Brown. This is a film that I admittedly just didn't get the first time I saw it. This was a follow-up. This was his follow-up to Pulp Fiction, which was a phenomenon at the time in the early 90s. And that was his second film, which had come off of Reservoir Dogs, which was also a phenomenon. And to me, Jackie Brown just didn't quite work at the time. But the more I have watched it and rewatched it, because I've probably seen it 5, 6, 7 times at this point, I like it more every time I see it. I don't get I don't think it is as good as the rest of his filmography, and I don't get the revisionist history that a lot of film critics and a lot of Tarantino fans have come back to, saying that it's his best work ever. Because you can look up Tarantino lists right now, and Jackie Brown will be number one in 10 to 20% of the lists that you'll find.
That's absurd.
I have it at 9. So, but it's similar. It's similar to, like a Weezer ranking, where so many people are going to put Pinkerton as number one. It's their best work ever, and they're going to stop there. So anyway, that's how I feel about
it's
Jackie
because
Brown.
It's cool to be different. It's cool to be different.
Maybe, yeah.
So.
But it is a good film. There's no doubt about it. It's a good movie. It's just, I just don't think I don't think it comes together the same way that anything else he's ever made does.
Yeah, so I've seen all of his films multiple times except for my bottom 3. So Jackie Brown is also in my 9 slot, and I have only seen it the one time. I agree. I probably will like it more on rewatch. Granted, it's been a very long time. It's been probably 6 years since I've watched it.
Okay.
But I agree. It doesn't feel like anything else he's made. It doesn't feel particularly exciting to me in concept or casting or anything like that. So it kind of I always kind of forget about it. And that's why it's at the bottom for me. I don't have any strong feelings towards it. I don't think it's bad, but I think it is extremely forgettable.
Yeah, I mean, I think casting is interesting in Jackie Brown. It's got some heavy hitters, and it's also got some downgrades. Like, Bridget Fonda is a downgrade to Uma Thurman.
Right.
And then you've got other things like Robert De Niro is in Jackie Brown, but he's in some ways a little forgettable in Jackie Brown.
100%. It's not a performance that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And same with Sam Jackson.
And he arguably, I think Sam Jackson is maybe the actor he's worked with most outside of that particular stunt performer whose name is slipping my mind right now, who's I think been in almost everything he's ever made. But I don't love the Sam Jackson performance in Jackie Brown either.
Yeah.
I much prefer it in Hateful Eight, obviously Pulp Fiction, Django. Like I much prefer him in other films.
Yeah. I totally get it. I agree with you. And I'd rather get into the rest of the ones that I don't love very much, so then we could talk about the ones that I do love.
Okay. All right. So what do you have next on your list? What's in your 8 slot?
In my 8 slot, I have Kill Bill Volume 2. And spoiler alert, so do you.
I do.
We are still in alignment. And I just have to be super honest. This goes hand in hand with my 7 slot, Kill Bill Volume 1. They are interchangeable for me. I have a hard time remembering what is in what. When I watched them, there was not one that I thought was particularly better or worse.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't think the extremely cartoonish violence and gore really works for me. I don't find it as epic or awesome as a lot of people do. Again, I've only seen them one time, and I am completely willing to watch them again.
You've never revisited Kill Bill?
No, because when we went through his filmography, they just didn't grasp me the same way that the others did. And when we get to my number 1, I think you'll be somewhat surprised because I don't see this one at the top of anybody's list, and I couldn't even specifically tell you why it's my favorite, but it's just the one that grabbed me the most. Okay. And the Kill Bill movies did not.
So, unlike you, I've rewatched both volumes of Kill Bill, probably at least 3 to 5 times each, I would say. Obviously when I showed them to you, that was a rewatch. It was probably my 3rd or 4th rewatch at the time, and I think I've revisited each of them once at least since then. But I agree with you. I think that there are aspects of Kill Bill that are, it's kind of, to me, Tarantino at his most self-indulgent.
Absolutely.
I mean, even in so much as he's not just given us a movie, he's given us 2. It took him 2 films to figure out how to squeeze in all that self-indulgence into the story. So there are aspects of Kill Bill that I really like. One of my favorite, going back to superheroes, the Superman monologue in Kill Bill Volume 2 is epic. It is so good. And if you haven't rewatched that recently, you should. Bill gives an amazing monologue about what makes Superman Superman versus Spider-Man or Batman or any of the others. Like he identifies to him, and I assume on some level Tarantino, why Superman to him is the greatest superhero of all time. And it's a very intelligent and insightful dive into these characters. It's great. It's a great moment in the film. But then we've also got to deal with the pussy wagon and everything else. Like, it's just, there are just so many moments where it's just like, okay, I didn't really need this.
And like chopping off arms and like shower faucets of blood squirting out.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I get it. Tarantino's violence, outside of Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, I think, and maybe even Jackie Brown, I think after his first three films, his violence definitely got a little bit more cartoonish and over the top. And but there are times when he figures how to keep it in check, and there are times when he doesn't. And maybe Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2 are in that latter.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
I'm going to drop something controversial.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of people would have this at number 1. And for me, in my 6th slot, I have Pulp Fiction. Again, this was a perfectly enjoyable film. I actually am now realizing that I have only seen this one once also. This is the only other one that I've only seen once. I need to revisit. I know that.
So your bottom 4, you've only watched the original time I showed it to you.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't hit me the way that I thought it was going to. I had spent so much time hearing about this movie. Like it's a thing of legend, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I just didn't get it. I didn't get it to the extent that I wanted to. And so I need to revisit it. I did like it a lot, but I just didn't. I would say the other 5 on my list I would have as truly phenomenal movies. And this one I would just have as a good movie that I need to rewatch to probably appreciate more.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that what can't be underestimated is the cultural significance that Pulp Fiction had, which unfortunately you weren't alive to experience. But in many ways, the combination of Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction completely changed how I personally and how many, many other people in the world watched movies and what we expected out of movies. It took a genre that in many ways was extremely predictable and formulaic, and it said you can't count on anything. Absolutely anything can happen. The words coming out of people's mouths can shock you. The violence can shock you. The twist, the time, like you can't even trust the narrative structure. Like he completely changed the game with Pulp Fiction. So that is really difficult to replicate if you didn't live through it.
Right.
You experienced a world where he had already changed, the game had already changed, and you saw a cinematic landscape that was already influenced by what Tarantino did with Pulp Fiction. But before he did it, it was very different. So for that reason, I have to say that I think Pulp Fiction deserves a higher slot on the list. All that to say, I honestly only have it ranked 1 above where you do. And that's only to me because I think that he's consistently upped the game so many times throughout his career that as much as I love Pulp Fiction and as important as I think it is to cinematic history, I mean, maybe arguably the most important film on this list to cinematic history. But there are other Tarantino films that I enjoy more.
Well, what do you have right under it?
So I have Django Unchained underneath it, and I guess I want to preface by saying I love Django Unchained. I really love this movie.
Sounds like you don't.
I do. No, I love this movie. I've never been the world's biggest Jamie Foxx fan, to be honest. To me, he is personally the weak spot of the film, but he's not bad in this movie. He's just not what I just don't typically appreciate him as an actor, but I really like this movie, and I enjoy Sam Jackson's performance. I enjoy Leonardo DiCaprio's performance. I mean, there's so many great performances in this film. It's so well put together. I really like this movie a lot. It's hard for me. 1 through 6 is really difficult for me. I'm certain of what my 1 is. I'm certain of what my 9 is, but 2 through 6, it's a flip of the coin at times. It just depends on my mood. So I'm not trying to disparage Django Unchained. It's just, right now, I think I gave the edge to Pulp Fiction into the 5 slot rather than the 6 slot because of the cultural significance that we just discussed.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say it right now. I have Django Unchained in my 2 slot. So pretty far off from your measly 6.
Yeah.
Which I think is just objectively wrong. Django Unchained is incredible. I mean,
it is.
How are you going to put a movie in the 6th slot when it has a performance like that from Leonardo DiCaprio and Samuel L. Jackson? Those are both incredible performances. The story is just super tight and man, do you hate these characters? They're just the worst. They're so evil. They're the epitome of evil. This movie makes me feel such strong things. I could never have it in 6.
It is at times really hard to watch, and we haven't even mentioned Christoph Waltz's performance, which is chef's kiss.
Perfect.
I mean, it's second only to one other Christoph Waltz performance
on this list.
Yeah, and I mean in his career too. I mean, like, you know, Tarantino gets his 2 best performances ever. He makes. By the way, that's something that we have to point out with Tarantino. Yes, we get Brad Pitt, you know, starting in the later half of Tarantino's career, and there's others, but Tarantino is a director who puts people on the map as far as acting, or he revives their career in an amazing way. Like, we don't have Sam Jackson or Christoph Waltz without Tarantino.
Yeah, fair.
You know, it's arguable, you know, and he gives us back. I mean, he gives us a whole second half of John Travolta, a lot of which isn't great, but plenty is good because of Pulp Fiction.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I get your point. It's hard. It's really difficult to rank Tarantino films in this range. Django's a great film. Like I said, I just think Pulp Fiction gets the edge because of cultural significance and importance to cinematic history. I don't know that Django Unchained is necessarily super important to cinematic history the way that Pulp Fiction is.
Yeah, it's definitely not 6 out of 9. But I know
you're. So what's in your
5
slot? What's in your 5 slot?
Yeah, yours was Pulp Fiction, to touch on again. Mine is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
His favorite film.
His favorite film is right in the middle for me. I really like it. I think really phenomenal performance from Leo, and I love my man Pitt. And Pitt
is so good in this.
He's so good. And he's a 50-year-old with abs, which is just the worst thing ever. It's just ridiculous how charming and handsome Brad Pitt is at this point in his life still. Yeah. But this movie is just a journey. It really just takes you through kind of the history, the day in the life of these characters. A lot of it truly is just following them around as they go about their normal business. And there's something about that that's really charming. I mean, we have like a 10-minute scene of Brad Pitt just walking into his trailer, cleaning up a little bit, feeding his dog, lighting his cigarette, sitting on the couch and watching TV. I mean, we just spend 10 minutes of him in his night. And there's something really charming about this whole movie. And
being a quintessential movie star. Just being charming as hell.
Exactly. It's full of great performances. It's full of really incredible scenes. It's just charming. I like this movie a lot.
But you gave it a number 5.
I gave it a number 5. I did.
I don't know that I can fault your choice here. Like I said, this is really tough. I have it ranked 2. I have it as my second favorite. I think in so many ways it's just so damn good, and Pitt's performance is so great. You've got these great. I mean, the whole back and forth between him and the Bruce Lee character. Everything with him and Leonardo DiCaprio. DiCaprio it's probably my favorite DiCaprio performance. Period. I really think he's so good in this, in a way that is both. It's it's vulnerable. He's vulnerable in this in a way that we don't often see from him. The kid who the actor, I can't remember her name, but the kid that plays opposite him, who is playing an actor. I mean, she's so solid.
She's
it's just
incredible.
a super rewatchable. The whole film is just super rewatchable. Margot Robbie, who we haven't touched on yet. I don't know. Right now, talk to me in 6 months and maybe it falls to 3, 4, or 5. But I have it in the 2 slot right now.
Yep. Well, we still have 4 left, and we're running a little long, so I'm going to go through these a little faster, personally.
We're gonna have to do episode 18, part 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for Tarantino.
The whole bloody affair. In my 4 slot, and this has been in my 1, 2, and 3 slot also, is Reservoir Dogs. This is obviously the first one you showed me because it was his first. And
chronological.
Yeah, and especially based on the homework assignment you gave me last week, that I love single location movies. I think it forces you to just be so clever and intelligent with your script and the way you lay things out, and that's exactly what this is. The first time I watched it, I was having a hard time following a little bit because I was forgetting who was what color, who's pink, but it's incredible. It's really good. Every time I rewatch this movie, I catch more, I understand more, and it's just so tight. It's so intelligent, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be amazing to watch the stage production of Reservoir Dogs? I'm pretty sure it's been done. When somebody's done it, it just hasn't been like a sort of, I don't know, official,
that would be incredible.
Broadway version of Reservoir Dogs live. I would love to see that, but I totally agree with you. I have it in the 3 slot right now, so we're not far off. We're just 1 slot off. I can't begin to overestimate just how important this movie was to my personal taste in film. I think I mentioned the combination a few times of Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, but Reservoir Dogs completely changed my perspective on cinema for good. I think in many ways it's a film that every single movie I watch in my entire life going forward from the time I saw Reservoir Dogs, in some way I compare it to Reservoir Dogs. Yeah. Even if we're talking about a superhero movie, even if we're talking about a horror movie, where it doesn't matter what it is, on some level I hold it up to the microscope and I ask myself, how does it compare to Reservoir Dogs in terms of efficiency of dialogue, in terms of efficiency of character, of location, of camera work. It's just such an incredible film, and I don't think that we can underestimate its value to cinematic history as well.
Where do you have it?
I have it in the number 3 slot. Do you know, by the way, too, when I was in college, I used to drive from my campus down to West LA and watch midnight showings of Reservoir Dogs at the New Beverly Theater, a theater that now Tarantino owns.
Nice.
And he personally oversees the films that are played in it, so they only do old movies. Next time you're in LA, we got to go up there and watch a movie. And he's definitely revamped it a little bit and given it some upgrades. But man, I mean, the seat when I was going in the mid '90s, the seats were like falling apart. It was like, but all they did was show classic films. But every night at midnight, Reservoir Dogs.
Wow.
And I probably went there 15, 20 times to watch a midnight showing of Reservoir Dogs. I'd take friends, I'd take dates, I'd go by myself. It didn't matter. I was going to see Reservoir Dogs at midnight if I was just in the mood.
I love that.
That's how much
awesome.
I love this film. Yeah.
Well, I definitely haven't seen it that many times, but maybe one day.
All right.
We did your number 4.
So in my 4 slot, I have The Hateful Eight. Another great one. The first time I saw this, I went to the Roadshow. I went and saw his, 70 millimeter screening that he did at special theaters on Panavision or whatever it was that he shot this thing on, and it was, they had a literal intermission. When we walked into the theater, they handed us a booklet, like a full color, it was just a beautiful full color booklet of The Hateful Eight. It's a brilliant film. I love it. It's so very Tarantino doing Sam Peckinpah in a way, but in just a better way. Honestly, I mean, Sam Peckinpah is an extremely well respected director, particularly of westerns. I personally have kind of not always got it. Like, it just didn't make sense why he was so well respected. I think that Tarantino's version of Peckinpah here in The Hateful Eight is a superior entry to cinematic history as well. But for me, I've got it in the 4 slot.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler alert again. This is my number 1. And
this is your favorite Tarantino film of all time.
The Hateful Eight is my favorite Tarantino film of all time. And I don't think this is a very common take. I'm not trying to be different. I'm really not. I just really enjoy this movie. I truly revisit this one the most. I'm not sure. I haven't always been sure why, but it's the one that I find the most rewatchable. To me, similar to Reservoir Dogs, this is single location shot for the most part. Most of this story takes place in this cabin, like 90% of it.
Yeah.
And
before we get there, it's in the it's in the stagecoach, or like it's still
right.
keeps things really claustrophobic.
Yeah, exactly. Way. I think it's just really fun and crazy performances from Samuel L. Jackson and Kurt Russell.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you have a specific thing that you don't love about this movie, a specific actor that appears towards the end, Channing Tatum. But it doesn't really bug me.
I hate that guy. He's so bad in everything.
This movie is just really fun. Listen, get over it. This movie,
Channing Tatum,
is so tight.
Bad.
It's, again, I love seeing Samuel L. Jackson play kind of a villainous role. Kurt Russell is just the worst, but you kind of like him. There's actually not really a character in this movie that is particularly a good person or an interesting, like, kind-hearted character for you to kind of latch onto.
They're all hateful, right? They're all hateful.
Everybody
good in this film is killed within 5 minutes of us meeting them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really love this movie. I could rewatch it anytime. And hopefully my wife will watch this episode and be like, oh, no, I want to watch it. So I get to watch it again within the next week.
What are your feelings on the original cinematic versus the extended 4-episode version that he did for Netflix?
I'll be super honest. I have a hard time remembering which is which. When we watched it, we watched an extended version, but it wasn't
you and
4
I the
episodes.
First time.
Yeah, we watched some extended cut. I thought. I've seen both. Regardless, I've seen both.
Yeah, we definitely didn't watch the Netflix version because that didn't come out until 19.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer to watch.
Although that was roughly
sitting.
the time that I showed it to you.
Right, it was.
Yeah.
So I prefer to watch it in one sitting, and if I can do that with the longest version, I'm going to do that.
I think it's interesting what they did on Netflix, and now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm honestly not 100% sure to what degree of authority Tarantino had in that extended edition, that 4-part series. I haven't seen anything about it, like an interview with him or anything like that, but I'm assuming he had something to do with it. Tarantino himself breaks all of his films, he breaks them into chapters. So I think it's really interesting the way that this is done for Netflix. I'd be curious to see how it plays, how other of his films would play in that context.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fair enough. It's incredibly rewatchable, and I think maybe the 4-episode format makes it a little more digestible, but I really do think it works best when sat start to finish all the way through.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
We only have one movie left. We are on my third.
That we haven't discussed.
Yeah, we're on my third, but we've discussed the rest. So I'll just tell you what my third is.
Yeah.
My third is Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah, which for me falls in the number 1 slot.
It does. I'm going to let you talk about it. I think you're a little more excited about it than I am, but I think this is a phenomenal movie. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, Tarantino calls it his masterpiece. He calls it his best film. I can't disagree with him. It is, it's far and away my favorite of his films. I didn't think that he could do better than Pulp Fiction, than Reservoir Dogs, some of the films that came after I really enjoyed, but I really didn't expect him to blow me away in quite so dramatic a fashion as what happened when I first saw Inglorious Bastards. It is so rewatchable to me. I just go back to it over and over and over again. Christoph Waltz is insanely good in this. Brad Pitt, Michael Fassbender. I feel like people forget that he's in this movie.
Yeah.
And he is so damn good in this movie. Sometimes I just want to sit down and watch just Fassbender's scenes and just call it a night. It's good enough. Like, he's just so good.
Incredible.
That is a really rewarding watch. Just to show up to see what Michael Fassbender does in those 2 scenes. Just 2 scenes.
Yeah.
I think that there were times in both Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction where Tarantino delivered an intensity level that was in some ways like shocking and unsettling. I didn't get that from Jackie Brown. I didn't get that from Kill Bills 1 or 2. There's some really amazing action sequences. There's some great storylines, amazing performances, but I didn't get that level of intensity. With Inglorious Bastards, he upped the intensity level in a way that I didn't know he had in him. I mean, the opening scene,
incredible,
is one of my favorite scenes and sequences in all film history. And then he follows it up later on with that tavern scene that we were just talking about with Fassbender. I think they're far and away the 2 greatest scenes he's ever written and ever shot.
I have to agree.
For that reason, it's my number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree with you on that point. I think those have to be his 2 best scenes ever. But for me, that's what this movie is those scenes. Like, that's why I watched this movie. And so that's why it lowers a little bit for me, because those are almost so high that I think the rest of the movie fails to compare slightly. Mind you, I would have this as a 9 or maybe even a 10 out of 10 movie. So these are nitpicks for me. But those 2 scenes are 2 of the greatest scenes I've ever seen in my life, period.
My only nitpick of this film, and I still give it a 5, but my only nitpick is this is Tarantino's first sort of adventure in rewriting history. And
right.
It felt at the moment, and it's still at times when I rewatch it, it feels unnecessary. I think that the movie doesn't need this wouldn't it be great if ending. Meaning the actual, burning alive of all of these terrible Nazi war criminals, including Hitler. And he goes back and he does it again in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But I don't know. This is my one nitpick of the film. I know a lot of people would argue. A lot of people would argue against it. I know that I'm sure there's some really impressive film professor who's going to say why this is really important and why that mattered. But for me, that's my one nitpick of that film. But I still consider it to be a 5 out of 5. Yeah,
fair enough. Well, that's our Tarantino ranking. I think we should run through them quickly one more time, just to recap. Okay.
All right. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I will.
Go ahead.
My official Tarantino ranking is as such. In 9th place, I have Jackie Brown. Unfortunately, rather forgettable for me. In 8th place and also 7th place, I have Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2 in no particular order. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. I need to revisit them. I know I'll appreciate them a little more, but they're definitely not really going to climb the rankings, I don't think. In my 6th, I have Pulp Fiction. Again, I think this is a great movie. I don't think I fully grasp or ever will grasp the cultural phenomenon that it was and its significance. In my 5, I have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love Brad Pitt. This is an incredible Leonardo DiCaprio performance, and it's just a good time. You're just hanging out with these guys, In my 4 slot, I have Reservoir Dogs, one of the most intelligent, tight movies I've ever seen. I absolutely love this one. I can rewatch it and forget the twists and turns pretty regularly. and that's really fun. In my 3, I have Inglorious Bastards. Again, Brad Pitt, Michael Fassbender with one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen, Christoph Waltz with one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen, 2 of the best scenes in all of film history in this movie, worth watching, obviously. In my 2 slot, I have Django Unchained with, again, diabolical performances from Leonardo DiCaprio and Samuel L. Jackson. That's not even touching on Jamie Foxx. Truly awesome, Western, crazy, hard to watch movie. Then in my number 1 slot, my reigning champ for Tarantino is The Hateful Eight. I love this movie. I rewatch it pretty regularly. I think it is almost a hidden gem because it gets lost in the sauce of all the Tarantino rankings. If you haven't watched this movie, you need to watch it. It's a great Western. It's also a great whodunit, and it has some really, really fun performances. And that is my Tarantino ranking.
A solid list. All right, so I'm going to go through as quick as I can here. My Quentin Tarantino rankings 9 through 1. In the 9 slot, I have Jackie Brown. I don't buy into the hype that this is his secret masterpiece. It's good. I like all of his films, but to me, it's his least. It's the film that least works the least for me. In the 7 and 8 slot, I also have Kill Bills 1 and 2. Again, I think he's a bit self-indulgent across these 2 films. I enjoy them. I like them a lot, but they don't ultimately deliver what I like most out of Tarantino films. And instead, they deliver a few of the things that I occasionally like least from Tarantino. In the 6 slot, I've got a film that I absolutely love, but it's hard to squeeze all these in. Django Unchained. I completely agree with Braden's assessment. Fantastic performances by Waltz, DiCaprio, Jackson, and others. But it's hard to squeeze them all in. I just think some other films end up working a little bit better and have a little bit more significance for me, including my number 5 film, Pulp Fiction. I can't understate how important this movie was to cinematic history. It changed the game, and I think it works really, really well. I think it's one of the most quoted films in cinematic history, and I think that it deserves a place in my number 5 slot. In number 4, I've got The Hateful Eight. Again, another film that I really enjoy. At times, it's a touch long. At times, there's a few little things I could be a little tighter, which I think is something that he achieves in the films that I have in 1 through 3. But this is a really fantastic film. It's 4.5, I would say, stars, easy. And for me, the next 3 are all solid 5-star films. Reservoir Dogs in the number 3 slot, a film that is a personal all-time favorite, probably a top 5. For sure a top 10, but probably a top 5 of all time for me. It changed how I view cinema. I think it is a perfect film. Despite certain flaws, literal flaws in the film, they're overshadowed by just how amazing it is in other places. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I have as my number 2. This is tough. This is so tough. There are times when this is my number 2. There are times when this is my number 5. I really love hanging out with all these guys. I love the way that Tarantino paints this amazing picture of this era of Hollywood, and you just feel like you're there at all times. You feel like you're friends with all these people. You feel like you're in the same arguments that they're in. You're having the same stresses and troubles, and as all of them are. I think it's a fantastic film. And my number 1 Quentin Tarantino film is right in line with Tarantino. It's Inglorious Bastards. I think it is an absolute masterpiece. I cannot ever stop watching this film. Brad Pitt, Christoph Waltz, and so many others delivered such amazing performances across the board. I agree with what Braden said. 2 of the greatest sequences or scenes in all of cinema in this movie. They both exist in one place. Tarantino ups the intensity level in ways I did not know he could, and just absolutely blew me away. So for me, Inglorious Bastards is definitely my favorite Quentin Tarantino film.
Boom, baby.
Yeah, not bad.
It's fun talking about
right.
Tarantino.
Yeah, we've finished our Tarantino list. Should we run through our homework real quick before we say goodbye to everyone? As we're gonna go through a rather long episode. You know, why is it that the episodes when we think we don't have anything to talk about, we end up always running the longest?
Yeah, I mean, it tends to happen when you pick a director who has more than a few movies in his filmography.
Yeah, pretty great. All right, Braden. I assigned you Wait Until Dark.
You did.
What were your thoughts on this movie? Audrey Hepburn film? Had you ever seen her in actually anything before?
I had not. And when I went to go turn it on, my wife immediately was like, "Oh, that's Audrey Hepburn," and I was like, "I don't even know who that is," and she was telling me, even though she's never seen her in anything either. But I have to tell you, this is the best homework assignment you've given me yet.
Oh,
I have
nice.
to be honest. I really enjoyed it. Again, single location film, really incredible performances, and way smarter than I thought it was going to be. I don't want to jump into specifics, so maybe some other people can go ahead and watch this movie. But it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but in a really awesome way. I thought it was really incredible. I enjoyed it very, very much.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'm glad you liked it. I mean, Alan Arkin, is he not so damn good in this movie?
Yeah, he's just the worst.
In exactly the right way. Sorry, I got a little frog in my throat here.
No, you're good.
I'm so glad you liked it. I think it's a fantastic film. I rewatched it as well this week. I decided that after having assigned it to you, I needed to revisit it one more time. It's been a while since I'd seen it, and I was just blown away with how good it was. I watched it with Kay, and she loved it, and we just had a great time watching this classic movie, this classic Suspenseville. So yeah, all right, best ever. You guys should go see Wait Until Dark.
Yeah, we'll see who assigns the first 5-star movie, but you got pretty close. You got pretty close. A good one. I gave you
gave it what, 4.5?
4.5 stars. 4.5 stars.
All right.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I gave you a movie that I by no means expected to be a 4 or even a 3.5, but I wanted you to watch it, and it was called Stay. What did you think?
Yeah, it was tough. I wanted to like this movie so much. I don't mean like before you gave it to me. I mean like the film started. I looked at the actors. I looked at the director. I looked at the writer. Like I was like, oh, this is a great pedigree. Ultimately, I felt like it fell short. They didn't land the plane. It was really well shot. They did a great job of being trippy, and putting me sort of in that mindset. But at the end of the day, I wasn't really quite sure what I was supposed to get out of it or what I was supposed to learn or it just wasn't the payoff that I hoped. I thought that McGregor's performance was mediocre at best. I think he struggles with an American accent. I don't think he's ever particularly good when playing an American. Excuse me. And so I didn't love it. I gave it 2.5 stars. I think it's fine, but it had some moments, but it was a little too much of Gosling brooding with long wet hair. It felt a lot of like we just took him right out of The Notebook and we stuck him in a psychosexual thriller that wasn't didn't quite land for me. So,
all right,
sorry.
Fair enough. What are you giving me this week?
All right. We are going to go with A Few Good Men. Yeah.
Am I going to be able to handle the truth?
You may not be able to handle the truth, but that's a good question if you can, whether or not you can handle the truth. Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, I know you know it. I know you've never seen this film, but you know like its place in pop culture.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, or I'm gonna ask you a question that I want you to answer when you give your review. Who or what is the real star of this film after you watch it?
Okay.
I want to know your opinion.
Okay, good question. I'm looking forward to answering that. Your homework assignment for this week. You recently stated that you have a hard time taking animation seriously, and so I'm gonna make it my mission to help you along this path. And I just recently, for the first time, like 2 nights ago, watched a movie called K-Pop Demon Hunters. It is brand new and very popular, and a subject matter that I don't give a single damn about, and it was awesome, and I immediately knew I needed to make you watch it. So go ahead and take a gummy and enjoy it this week. I think you're going to like it.
All right. You know what? I'm kind of glad you assigned this to me. It's showing up on a lot of people's top 10 lists for this year, and in my head I'm going like, oh man, am I going to have to watch this? So I might not have picked it for myself, but you're picking it for me. So now I have no excuse. I can't skip this one. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
There you go.
K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm getting in. Sounds like a good topic. Not too bad. All right. So we've ranked and we've debated. We disagreed, though not about who shot first. It's all just another day in the galaxy.
So whether you're Gen X, Gen Z, or somewhere lost in the timeline, please continue to listen, like, share, and subscribe to I Am Your Father.
Yeah. So until the next episode, remember that with great power comes a great second breakfast. But winter's also coming, so may the Force live long and prosper within you.
Because we can do this all day. Boom.
Thanks, Braden.
Got to go make some dinner.
That's right. Hungry too.